What is a contact in Xero accounting? A contact is a customer, a supplier, or an employee. In this video, you will learn how to add a contact in Xero accounting. And stay until the end for a bonus tip where I'll share with you the fastest and easiest way to add a contact in Xero. Hi, I'm Sharon Tay, and I'm the founder of Nuts Accounting, and I'm a Xero certified advisor. So let's head on over to Xero accounting. When you log into Xero accounting, this is the first page that you will always see, the dashboard. So you can add a new contact from your dashboard or anywhere in Xero as long as you are able to see the top menu bar of Xero accounting. So the first step to add a contact is to go to the contacts page. From the menu bar, select contacts, and then from the drop-down menu, select all contacts. So once you select all contacts, you will come to this page, which looks like this. This is the contacts page. And the second way that you are able to add a new contact, let's say we are in other pages. Let's say right now you are in the customer invoice page and you would like to add a contact right now. So you can always find this plus icon at the top right corner of the menu bar. Click on the plus icon and then you can select contact, and you will always come back to the create a contacts page. So this is the page that we are going to add a contact. So if you are accessing the add a new contacts page from the contacts page, then at the top right corner of the page, you will see there's a new contact button. So just click on this button and we will come to this page where we are able to add a new contact. So let's try to add a new contact right now. The first information that you need to fill in, and this is the only field that you must fill in. The rest of the field in this page is optional. And this is the only field that you need to fill in, which is the contact name. So let's give the contact a name by typing by typing the name of the contact here. It's either the customer's name, which is like your if it's a company, then you type in the company's name. But if it's just a normal individual, then you type in the individual's name. Okay. Before we add a new contact, I have this way that I always use where I will go to the contacts page. Let's go back to the contacts page, and I will always search once for that particular contact to ensure that I do not have that contact inside of my Xero accounting. This step is very important because it will help you to prevent duplicate entries. So right now, I'm going to add my new contact, which is Samsung. So I'm going to type in SAMS. And even when you haven't finished typing the name of your contact, Xero will start to search from your contact list and see if you have any similar contact that starts with these few words. So right now, we see this search result. It says, sorry, we can't find any contacts that match your search. That means we do not have this contact inside of our contact list in Xero accounting. So we are good to go. We can add this contact. Okay, let's add Samsung. Okay, if this is the only information that you have for your contact, like for example, your customer, your supplier, or your employee, this is the information that you have, just the name of the person or the company, and you do not have any other information, then you can just click Save and Close. You can just click the button at the bottom, Save and Close. If you have other information that you would like to add in for this contact, then follow along with me for the next few fields. It sounds a little tongue twister, but anyway, let's continue on filling in the rest of the information for this contact. So the next field that we have right here is the account number. So what is this account number? The account number for your contact is the identifier that you have for your contact. Like for example, if you have an identifier for your contact, like for example, let's say you have a certain numbering system to organize all of your contacts. So if it's Samsung, let's say you start with S and then followed by the trailing numbers, 3-digit trailing numbers. So that would be S001 if this is the first contact that you have starting with the alphabet S. So this is just an example. It's not a required field. You can do whatever you like because this is just a reference number for you to look for the contact easier in the future. So right now, we do not have any reference number or account number that we are using, but okay, let's put in an example here so that we may see it how it looks like when we are back to the contacts page. Okay, the next section that we have here is the primary person. So the primary person is the person that you are always contact with from the company or from the individual. So for example, if you always deal with Susan, then your primary person is Susan, and everything that you are going to send to will be sent to Susan. But if your primary person is maybe from the sales team or the purchasing team, if it's your customer, then you will put the person that you always contact here. So this is the primary person that we are going to fill in. So let's just fill in Susan, and you can fill in the last name or you can omit this. This is totally up to you. So let's put in a last name here. Okay, and then the email address of the contact person. So I'm not sure if this is a valid email. This is just a testing. Okay. This is just for an example sake. This I don't think so. This is a valid email. Okay, anyway, now that I filled in Susan's name and Susan's email, the next one is the additional people. If you always contact not only Susan, you are contacting Susan and also Alex. So that means you will need, whenever you send a customer invoice to Susan, you will also need to forward to Alex as well. So you can set this up in your Xero accounting so that whenever you send something to from Xero accounting to your customer, it will automatically goes to Susan and also Alex. Okay, let's add in Alex's details here. So add another person, click on this button and a pop-up will appear. So just the same information that we need to fill in, the name and the last name. So the email address. Okay. Okay, so you can, do you see this checkbox here? It says include this person in emails sent to the contact. So if you want to send the customer invoice or customer statement to Alex as well, then you need to check this box. So I'm going to check this box. But if you do not want to send to Alex, you just want to save the information of Alex in Xero accounting just as just using Xero accounting like a contact book, then you do not need to check this box. Okay, add this person. And I'm going to add another person, which is the manager of the purchasing team. So this is Shireen Tan. So I'm going to just add in here. And Shireen is just the manager of the team. I'm just saving her name in here just in case I need to contact her in the future, but then I may not want to send too many emails to her. This is just to save her information in here. And I'll just add in a bracket here to show that Shireen is the manager of the team. Okay, just add this person. So you will see here when you add additional person, the primary person by default, all emails will send to the primary person. So Susan Lee will always get our emails from Xero accounting. Even if you send a customer invoice or a statement, a customer statement, Susan will be getting it by default. And if whenever we add additional people, just like Alex and Shireen, if we include Alex in all the emails that we are going to send to, then we are going to see this tag here that says included in emails. While Shireen Tan, which is the manager, I do not want to send her too many emails, and that's why I didn't include her in the emails, and she do not have the tag that says included in emails. All right, let's move on to the next section, which is the business information. So you can fill in the company, the phone number of this company. So let's just put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is just an example, it's not a valid phone number. And if you have additional phone number, you can always click add more here. Okay, the next one. Okay, let's just add in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, website. If you have your customer's website, then you can add it here. But then if you do not need this information to be saved in Xero accounting, then you can skip this one. So just for an example, I'll just share this with you. And yes, this is a valid website. Okay, the next one is the business registration number. So I'm going to fill in the business registration number here, and notes. Notes is the section where you can fill in more information about this customer. Like for example, if you want to fill in some additional information about their purchasing behavior, like they always purchase every end of the month on the 25th. So if they need a reminder from you every 25th of the month, then you can write it here. Please contact please contact Susan, or maybe please contact Susan for new orders on 25th of every month. Yeah, you can add in additional information like this. Or maybe, and some additional information that I suggest you put in is maybe a certain request from the customer, like please send all customer invoices to Susan and Alex before 25th of the month. Just like if they have a certain if your customer has a closing date or a cut-off date to record all their purchasing invoices or purchasing bills, then you will need to write this in the notes here if you have some additional requests from your customer. But this is just a note that we put it in Xero accounting, and if that means whenever other people in your company sees this contact, they will be able to see all these notes that you type in here. This is very useful in the event that maybe you have a few people within your team that handle this customer, then this is very useful for that particular function. All right, the next section is addresses. If you want to jump to this section directly, let's say we go back to the starting point and we want to fill in the addresses, you can always select this on the left sidebar here. You can click on addresses and it will jump to this section directly, the addresses. So you can fill in the address here. So let's say, where shall I put it? Okay, let's say Gurney Drive. Okay, it's not here. Okay, anyway, we'll just select one of it. Okay, so you can add the address here, the billing address. So you can write attention to a certain person, let's say Susan, and then the address, and then the city, the state, the zip code, and the country. Then if you have a different address, if your address is the same, your customer only has one physical location, one address, then you can, this by default is already checked for you. Use this address as the delivery address. So that means in your customer invoice, when you print out, all the delivery address of the items will be sent to this address. But if you have a separate address, you can uncheck this box and you can fill in the delivery address in a separate section. So let's just add this address. And you see here, we will have the billing address and also the delivery address. So both of these is safe here. If you need to edit or change the delivery address, you can always click here and click edit. All right, the next section is the financial details. Here you can fill in the bank account name, the bank account number, the details, tax ID, and the currency. This is very useful if you are trying to create a new supplier, because when you want to create a new supplier and you want to generate the payment, then this is the place for you to fill in all the supplier's bank details, so that when you generate the report, then all the bank details will be there, so that it's easy for you to make the payment to the supplier. So the next one is the sales defaults. So this is for your customers only. So for your customer, we can set a default information to be generated when you create a new customer invoice. So for example, my sales account that I want it to be the default sales account is, let's say, the interest other revenue. Okay, let's say we are trying to create the sales account as the other revenue account. And then the invoice due date, you can set by default here. So let's say I give this customer a 30 days term. That means 30 days after the invoice date. Okay, so this is the invoice due date that I'm setting by default for this customer. The amounts are then, and the sales tax are, by default, it is following your organization settings. What is the default that you have set in your organization setting? So if you want to change it, you can click here and then change to the settings that you like. So the amounts are maybe tax inclusive. All right, just for this customer, I want it to be tax inclusive of the amount. And the sales tax, I'm going to select maybe tax exempt. So here you can set the default sales tax and the default amounts are typed for your customer directly here. So if you like this video, click on the like button. And if you have any questions on bookkeeping, Xero accounting, or QuickBooks Online, just type it in the comments below. Okay, now let's continue on with the next field, which is the discount. So if by default you are giving a discount to your customer, then you can set the default discount here. Let's say we are giving it a 50% discount for this customer. And now we can set the credit limit amount as well. If you are giving a credit limit to your customer, let's say you are giving this customer a 10,000 credit limit. So if the customer's invoices are issued up until $10,000, that's no problem. But if the customer is trying to purchase more, even if they have 10,000 of outstanding balance with you, then you can use the next setting, which is the checkbox, to block new invoices when credit limit is reached. So if you select this checkbox, then that means the customer can only order with you up until $10,000. So even if they want to order additional one item worth of $1, also you cannot do so. 10,000 is the limit, and that's it. Everything stops at $10,000. But if you would like to allow this customer to continue to purchase more, even if they have reached the 10,000 outstanding balance, then you can uncheck this box. So if you uncheck this box, they can keep ordering more and more with you without any limitation or stopping at $10,000. All right, the next one is the branding theme. So the branding theme is how your invoice and your customer statement looks like. So if you have a particular setting, a particular layout that you would like to set for this customer, you can click on the checkbox, and all the settings, all the templates that you have right now, the invoice template and the customer statement template will be available for you to choose here. So I have three templates. So let's say I select very orange invoice, because this customer needs an orange invoice for a certain reason. Okay. The next one is the next one, it says region in my Xero right now, but then it depends on what are the user defined fields that you have. So if your user defined field is not region, then you will not see the region in your Xero accounting. If your user defined field, that means something that you can set yourself. It's just an additional field that you can set yourself for display purpose or recording purpose. So let's say yours may not be region. Let's say yours might be branch, maybe branch A, branch B. So it will tie into the sales or for your branch A, or maybe tie into the sales of branch B. So you can always change this here. Or maybe you can use this to select your salesperson's name as well. You can also do that. So region, you can select the region that you want. And if your customer is using Xero accounting as well, then they will have a Xero network key. Xero network key is very useful whenever you send something, issue a customer invoice and you send it to your customer. If they are using Xero accounting, then you can set the Xero network key here so that when you send the invoice to your customer, it will automatically goes to be recorded in their draft purchase bill. So that means in their purchase bill, they in the draft tab, they will already see your customer invoice recorded as their purchase bill. But of course, it's going to be the draft version because it needs them to check through and edit any accounts or anything that they need to do before they can save that particular customer invoice from you. Okay, so I'm not going to type in anything here just in case that I did something wrong to other people's accounts. All right, so I'm going to leave this empty, but if you do have it, then ask your customer for the Xero network key and then you can fill it in here. So before we continue on, I have something to share with you. If you are new to bookkeeping or you're confused about where to start, then check out our free mini course, Master User Academy Level 1. Get started today for free at nutscounting.com/400. This mini course will kickstart your bookkeeping journey and boost your confidence and skills. No credit card is required to join this mini course. You can sign up today at nutscounting.com/400. Okay, the next section that we are going to cover is the purchase default. Just now we have covered the sales default, which is the default settings for your customers. And now we are going to set the default settings for your suppliers. So if you are trying to add a new supplier, we can also set all the default details in here. So just the same as what we have gone through just now for your sales is pretty similar here, but there are lesser fields for your purchases, whereas for your sales default, we have more fields here. So the purchase default, you can set the purchase account, you can set the due date for your bills, you can set the organization settings, you can set the purchase settings, you can set the default setting for the amounts are tax inclusive, exclusive, or no tax, then the purchases tax settings, and also your user defined field. So let's quickly fill in the information here. So the bill due date, I'm going to set 60 days after the bill date. Okay, let's set 30 days as well. Then the amounts are no tax. Then the purchase tax is tax on purchases, and the region, I'm going to select West Coast. This is just example purpose. All right, so now that we have filled in the contact name, account number, so just a recap, what you need to do is fill in the contact name. The contact name is the only information that you must fill in on this page. The rest of the information on this page is optional. You can choose to skip the fields and leave it empty, also no problem. So we have filled in the contact details here. we have filled in the primary person, the name of the person that we are going to contact, and also the email address. And we have added in the additional people that we need to contact and the business information such as the phone number, mobile number, then the website, business registration number, and the notes section, we have filled it in as well. And then we fill in the addresses. The billing address and delivery address is different. And financial details, we need to fill in here. If this is a supplier, then we can fill in the information of the bank details here. But if you do not want to fill in here, you want to keep a separate record of their financial details, their bank details, then it's totally up to you. You can do your way, or you can just easily use Xero Accounting as your contact book. And now we have the sales default. For the sales default, I recommend that you fill in the sales account and also the credit limit and also the invoice due date. Just set the default here so that it will be easier for you to record a new customer invoice in the future. And the discount as well, you can set a default discount here. So by default, I'm giving this customer a 50% discount. That's quite a huge discount, right? Okay, and also you can change the branding theme, which is your customer invoice or your customer statements template. Then you can add the Xero network key here. And the purchases, for the supplier information, you can fill in here, which is pretty similar to what we have gone through for the customer section. Okay, once you're done and you are happy with all the information, you can click on the button at the bottom right corner that says Save and Close. So let's save it now. All right, now that we have saved this customer, we are seeing right now the contact details of this particular customer. All the details that we have filled in just now appears here. Here you can see the customers, by default, the primary person that we are contacting will appear at the top here, and the additional people is at the bottom here. Then we have all the contact details, the notes section, and the addresses, and you can see here there are a few tabs. You have the activity, contact details, financial details, and the files. So financial details here, you can see here all the information that we set. The default settings for your sales and your purchases appears here. And you have the files here. If you need to add in additional files for future references, then you can always select it here. And let's go to the first tab, which is the activity. Right now, there's no transactions recorded yet for this customer. That's why, or supplier, that's why this section is empty. And you will see here the credit limit appears at the top section of your activity. So now let's go back to the contacts page, the full list of all your contacts, and let's search for this customer whether we have successfully added it in or not. So I'm going to search Samsung, S-A-M-S, and then it appears already. Yes, you have successfully added a new contact in Xero Accounting. And here's a bonus tip for you. I'm going to show you the fastest and easiest way to add a contact in Xero Accounting. Are you ready? Let's head back to Xero Accounting. So the fastest and easiest way to add a contact in Xero Accounting is whenever you are recording a transaction in Xero Accounting. For example, you are recording a customer invoice and you realize as you type in the name of the company, you realize the company is not here. Like now that we have Samsung, let's say we have Android. Let's say our customer's name is Android. But as you type in the information here in your new customer invoice, you realize this customer is not added in your Xero Accounting yet. So the fastest and easiest way to add a new customer is immediately here. You can just type in the name of the customer and then select this. There's a little drop down that says add Android as a new contact. You just click this and then you'll be able to fill in all the basic information. But this, you still need to fill in a lot of things. But if you do not want to fill that up, you can just Okay, the contact could not be saved. Let me just type it again. You can just press on the tab button, or you just click on anywhere else, and you'll be able to add a new contact immediately from this screen itself. And the next one, of course, is whenever you do your bank reconciliation, you can just type in the name of the new customer or supplier that you would like to add, and then you can just press on the tab or just click anywhere else, and you will see here there's a new tag next to it. And of course, whenever you are recording a new receive money or spend money, you can also type in the new customer here or the new supplier, and then you can just continue on doing everything that you need to do. So just type what is the amount and all that. So this is the fastest and easiest way to add a contact in Xero accounting. Isn't it easy? But if you add a new contact in this way, I would suggest that you go back to your contacts page. Once you are done recording your transaction entry, you will need to go back to your contacts page and then look for that customer, and then fill back all the information that you need to fill in. Because what we did just now is just recording the customer's name or the supplier's name, which is just the contact name only. And you do not have other information like the sales default settings or the addresses and everything. So once we have created the new customer in this way, I think the best practice is to go back to your contacts page and to fill up the rest of the information as you see fit. But if your style or the way that you use Xero accounting is just to save the contact's name and you do not use it for anything else, you do not store any other information in Xero accounting for that contact, then it's okay, because what you done just now is just creating the contact's name, and that's it, you are done. So isn't this the fastest and easiest way? I think this will be your favorite way to add a new contact in the future. Once you have added a new customer in Xero accounting, your next step is to create a new invoice for this customer. If you would like to learn how to add a new invoice in Xero accounting, click or tap on the video on the screen to watch the full tutorial. I'll see you in the next video.